Welcome to Greenable Woodbridge. I am your host, Carolyn Ehrlich. Today we have a very important guest. Tracey Woods is the Senior Energy Program Manager for Sustainable Jersey. And right now, energy and the cost of energy is a very hot topic, pun totally meant to be. And so to have an expert sitting here with me today is going to be such a help for our viewers. So just tell us a little bit about what you do, what your role is, and how did you become an expert?
Well, I started when I moved to New Jersey. I started volunteering for my green team. I live in Maplewood, and for
my hometown.
Yes, that's right. I knew that about you. I remember that now. But at first I was really into my background's in art and architecture, and I was really into things like water conservation and different things like that, and also worked a lot on recycling outreach. And the chair of the Maplewood Environmental Committee is a guy named Bob McCoy, who is one of the most knowledgeable energy people that I've ever met. And he was a great mentor to me in expanding my knowledge from just sustainability in general into the energy stuff. And really teaching me how all the different energy programs worked. And the one thing I've learned about energy is the more every time you dare to think that you know everything that there is to it, there becomes some new component of it. And
right.
You're like, who knew? I mean, how many of us knew that the PJM grid sector would be a name that we would all understand?
Well, let's just jump to that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, let's talk about the PJM. And we're talking Greek now.
Yeah.
So explain what the PJM auction is, a capacity auction, and how that impacts what the prices are and what we're paying for our energy.
Well, first of all, PJM stands for Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland. That's what the acronym means. But it actually is our regional transmission organization that is the administrator for the grid sector that's actually part of 12 states. So all the way into parts of Indiana, and it's a really big area of the country. That's the energy is administered by PJM, and one of the issues has been that they've been really slow to embrace new distributed energy technologies like solar, and the queue at times to get projects onto their active list has been really long. And what that's meant
and expensive, by the way.
Yes, and expensive. And what that's meant over the years is as energy sources are being taken off the list because certain plants are decommissioned or projects just get to the end of their usable life, then the pool of projects that were actively in the queue for the capacity has reduced, and they had to keep they have to go out to auction to make sure that they have the capacity to provide all the energy needs of those areas in the 12 states that they serve. And during the auction before the last one, they really had to pay an extreme premium because they didn't have the capacity within the area or the generation within the area to do that. And the market came down hard on them, and the increase that the utilities have to pay is actually more than the percentage of it that's being passed on to residents,
which is like 30%.
Yeah, and it depends on which utility area you're in. I believe you're 17 cents in this area, but that's an extreme increase. And one of the things that is important to know is the changes that need to happen at PJM in order to solve this issue are going to take years to occur. Now we've seen some great leadership from the governors of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, trying to get this updating going on, but the newest auction for the next year of energy just happened like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it didn't go well either. So we've already seen a 17% increase in our energy bills, and that just started popping up in June.
Right.
And then in the next year, we don't know what the percentages are going to be yet, because how much of that price increase is allowed to be passed through to the residential customers is yet to be determined. But we know that there will be an increase. And so, one of the important things to take away from all of this is there are some things that we can do to support our residents in reducing the amount of energy increase that's coming to them, but also that all of our representatives, our elected representatives, have taken active roles in getting PJM to make the changes it needs to make. And I just encourage everybody that is listening to this and active in this to send encouragement to them to keep on that.
Right.
That it's going to take years to resolve these issues, and we just need to keep giving the messaging that that's what we really want for them to be focusing on.
And PJM is it's not federal, it's not state, it's something beyond, and it's made up of, surprisingly, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of a little bit of a conflict, because the utilities themselves are regulating themselves. So it's a kind of crazy situation. But I want to take a step back so that people understand that their electric bill has a few components. There's the transmission, there's the generation, there's, community programs. So if you want to just take a minute, so people really, when they get their bill, they understand what it is, and then which parts of it you can actually save money in.
Yes. Yeah. So, the typical residential understanding of electricity, there's the delivery. So that is the bringing of the electrons flowing through the wires to your home. And that is done by your utility, and it's sort of a stable cost, because it's just the cost of bringing the electrons to your home. Then there is the supply portion, which is that's them sourcing the electricity to be available to bring to your home, and that's the part where there's really a lot of different mechanisms for improving the price and also improving the renewable content.
Right.
And so when you get solar on your home, if you get solar panels on your home, you're reducing the amount of your supply portion of the bill. And if you do something like get a third-party supplier, again, you're reducing the supply portion of your bill. Another great opportunity that I know that we've been, we were just chatting before the show started about New Jersey's Community Solar Program. And for those of you who haven't heard about it, it is an incredible program. The pilot for it started in 2018, and it just transitioned to its permanent program. And what community solar is it's an opportunity for folks that either can't or don't want to have solar on their own homes to subscribe to a solar array that's located like on a warehouse or somewhere that's not at their home, and you can subscribe for a little portion of that larger solar array, and the generation credits for that solar get credited to your utility bill almost exactly the same as if you had that solar array on your house. And one of the things that we hear all the time from residents is, with there having been so many scammy things in the past about solar, just saying that panels are free, or any other number of things, that it sounds too good to be true. And this is one of those rare cases.
True. So I'm happy to say that by the time this is on the air, I think most of our residents will have gotten a letter, and we totally encourage them to sign up for this program. The only thing that I want to say is that you will not see an immediate savings. So you got to get in line and wait, and it's first come, first serve, and the wait could be like 4 to 6 months. And honestly, we were thinking at one time, well, we don't want to send out a letter and tell people, well, you can't be in the program yet. And we were, let's say, wait until there is no longer a waiting list. And then we came to realize that if you don't get on the list, if you're not last today, you won't be first tomorrow. And so we are really encouraging people, and we're thinking sometime probably during the winter they will be on it. And so it's an amazing savings, not just in money. You know, I always talk about the greener money and greener the environment.
Yes.
In both ways, it's a savings, and you don't have to put anything on your roof. It's right there. And then there is also, for the low to mod, they get to jump the line a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to point out that people say, oh, low mod, you know, that's not me. But the moderate income in Woodbridge for a family of 4 is $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of us.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're really more qualified, and you get that. And when they ask on the application whether you would be qualifying for lower mod, let them decide.
Yeah.
You know, because it could very well be your family.
Yes, absolutely. You shouldn't, assume that you're not qualified for that. And, you know, one of the great things about the way that New Jersey structured the community solar program is that 51% of the overall capacity is dedicated to low and moderate income residents, which quickly catapulted, you know, remember, this is only like the maybe 7th year of our program, and catapulted us to being the second state, the second in terms, just after New York, in capacity that's reserved for low and moderate income residents.
That is really, really great. This is our second tranche at Community Solar. We did one, I think it was last year, and we got a whole lot of our low mod. And now we're getting more, but I don't want to scare anybody away. If you have even if you have a nice income, you might just have to wait a little bit longer, but you will be able to get this, and everybody is qualified and ready for it. So look for that letter. It'll be coming from your mayor and your council person.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. And thank you. So what are some of the other programs, other ways that we can save money?
Well, one thing, you know, as we're thinking about prices increasing and being aware of the needs of the residents, is there is a wide array of energy assistance programs. And these work a little bit different because a lot of what we've been talking about is energy efficiency or like solar opportunities. This is it's a group of programs that are designed, you know, when residents find that they're having trouble meeting their utility bill needs, that will just offer bill forgiveness. And I gave a URL that I believe you're going to add to this that has, you know, the point of entry where residents can go and find out about the different programs that are available, and they have a number that can help you determine which program is going to be the most beneficial for your household. And there are a lot of options, and I know that several of the state agencies are working on increasing those options now. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we want to get the word out about. And they're able to take calls in English and in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And many of the programs, the eligibility is not tied to citizenship status. It's to any electric utility bill holder. Mm-hmm. So that's something that's open to all folks that have utility accounts in New Jersey.
That is great. That's terrific. And let's stay on the topic of programs, and then we'll get into individual things that you can do. So there are utility programs, there are state programs, and there are federal programs. Mm-hmm. And I want to start with the federal programs because they're changing the fastest.
Yes.
And we were talking about this before we went on the air. We're urging people to take advantage of some of those federal programs now.
Yes.
Because they are ending in a month or a year. So if you want to, I know you've done a lot of research on this, so share your findings.
Yeah, well, like Carolyn was saying, just before the show started, we were talking about all the different research that we had to do to figure out what these deadlines exactly are. And the first one to talk about is if you've ever thought about getting an electric car, you know, and you're thinking like it's almost time to buy a new car, you have until December 30th of this year to get the tax credits on that. So that's something that you want to look at. Certain pre-owned cars are also eligible for that incentive.
And is that just until the end of September?
No, thank you. Thank you. You're right. I'm confusing it with a different program. Yeah. Yeah, so that is something to look at. Then also, if you're interested in getting solar on your own house, that the incentives for that, whether you get a PPA or buy the solar panels outright for your roof. And I should say PPA is a power purchase program.
Right.
And so either way that you can look at buying solar, there are tax incentives that either go to the resident or to the company offering the PPA. They do have time limits as well. So I know a lot of folks that I've talked to are like, everything's so confused right now. I feel like I want to wait until all the dust settles. It's actually the opposite. Don't do that. Find out what the deadlines are and make sure that you're planning for that. It's not too late. A lot of the people that do quotes for these types of things have geared up to be, really quick and responsive to doing quotes right now because they know time is of the essence.
The way I would say, it's kind of like they're all on clearance sales now.
Yes, exactly.
Grab them up while you can because they won't be there in a year.
Yeah, that's true.
So really, if you've been thinking about it, now is the time. And then there are some programs that'll help you with the investments. So I know we have a new one for our businesses called CPACE.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not sure, I don't know if residents are qualified for that.
No, at this time, the C actually stands for commercial.
Yeah.
So it's the commercial property assessed clean energy.
Right.
And the EDA is the organizer of this program. And you guys you've passed the ordinance, you're getting ready to do it,
We're all
right?
ready to go. We have, we're doing the program with the chamber, with all of our businesses. But there are other programs that help the residents. So let's talk about some of them.
Yeah, well, when you were saying about the federal programs, that one of the federally funded programs is the Weatherization Assistance Program. And that's always been really closely paired in New Jersey with a program called the New Jersey Comfort Partners Program, which offers incentives for free to eligible lower income residents to do energy efficiency upgrades and air sealing and insulation. And it's one of the only programs that can support renters, and it covers things like air conditioners. And it's just a great program. And they have a memo of understanding between the Weatherization Assistance Program and Comfort Partners. They offer similar things, but there's slight differences. And they've already agreed that if you enroll in one program and you'd actually be better served by the other program, that they'll automatically switch you over.
Wow.
So you don't have to shop
That's
between
something
the
that's
two.
unheard of. That's great.
Yeah, because they really, they really want to see the benefits go to the residents. But most of the time, the most beneficial program is the New Jersey Comfort Partners Program. So that's really the best place to start for residents. So again, if you go on their website, it'll has a chart. It says how many people live in your household. You look at the number of people in your household, and it has a maximum annual,
Income.
Thank you. I was like, the word where you make money. And then if you are beneath that account and amount, then you can sign up and get these incentives. And it's a really beneficial program.
And the utilities can help you with audits that are free. So if you're wondering, do I need a new HVAC? Would that help me? The audit, so you want to talk a little bit about those?
Sure. So there are two, the utilities offer two assessments right now. And actually, it's great. If you don't know which assessment you qualify for, you just call into the utility and they have, they can help you figure out which one. There's one, so remember, Comfort Partners is for low-income residents. Then there's one that's called Home Weatherization. That is a great program for moderate income residents, and offers up to a certain amount, several $1,000s for incentives for eligible households. And then it also, they do a walkthrough and create a list of measures, and then they help, support all of that. Getting done in your home. And then there's another program that's called the Whole Home Energy Assessment, which is a free program where residents can get a walkthrough audit of their house, and they'll create a whole list of measures that can be considered. And if the homeowner is interested, they can look into doing what's called the Home Energy Solutions Program, where they create a list of measures and provide pricing, and then the utility offers up to $5,000 toward the cost of getting those upgrades made.
Yep.
And there's support for getting you connected with a vendor, and the different utilities have financing options as well. So depending on which utilities are in your area, you can have the on-bill financing, and so that it doesn't have to be a big household struggle. These are 0% interest financing.
And you don't have to do everything at once, too.
Right.
So I had the audit, and I'm doing it step by step.
That's right. You had a video of you having the audit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And but what can we do as an individual? What is what would you say this is the one thing that you could do in your home to save energy?
Well, the classic answer to that is to make sure that you are doing your air sealing and insulation. That when it's getting to be wintertime, that you're looking for places where there's drafts and everything like that. Of course, the utility programs help determine where there's air sealing and insulation issues. It's actually really cool because they have
the blow test.
Yeah, they have the blower door test that shows where air is coming in through the walls. You can literally feel the drafts. And they also have these infrared scanners that they can just show you right through the wall, and you can see where the cold air is coming in.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really high tech now.
Yep.
And so it's a great way to approach getting started with that. But I can't help but say that, while you're doing upgrades on your home, you want to think about the idea that you may eventually be an electric car owner. So if you are going to have, electric upgrades made on your home, you want to think about do we need to have a circuit added so that eventually when we plug in a car, we don't have to come back to doing this panel again.
That is smart. That's very, very smart.
I mean, another thing that's coming is that I don't know how much you've been hearing about building electrification programs or building decarbonization programs where you can get a heat pump for your home. And so a heat pump is a really cool technology where they use heat from the outside, even on the coldest days of the year. It's kind of crazy. And they can heat your home with it, and the technology also can be used for air conditioning. It comes in a couple different ways, and New Jersey's utilities just this fall are starting to offer incentives for heat pump and other building decarbonization measures as well. And that's something that when you're having your home assessed, through the Home Energy Solutions program, you can ask about that, and make sure that you're just considering all your options.
So my mother telling me to turn off the lights isn't the whole answer.
No, but that's, let's not skip the simple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, our lifestyles, I know we just sent out a reminder to everybody to unplug. How many of us just leave our chargings in there all the time?
That was one that I didn't even know about until very recently, that I was not putting my computer to sleep properly, and it was just like using electricity all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of waste in our homes. And even something as simple as upgrading your lights to the latest LED.
Which is one of the, when you get the home energy walkthrough, the home energy assessment, they'll provide free exchanges of light bulbs and power strips, like new power strips, and in some cases shower low flow for saving water and different things like that. And they just install all of that when they come.
Sometimes a smart thermostat too. That timing of the thermostat is, you wouldn't realize how important it is.
That's absolutely true. Why should your heating and cooling equipment be running when you're not at home?
Yep. Yeah, it really is. So we're coming to the end of it, and I know we had a piece of paper with a whole lot of things we wanted to talk about. What do you want to cover? And we've got about 3 more minutes left.
I think that the thing that I just think is really important to focus on is that this is going to be increased pricing for electricity for residents that's going to keep coming for a couple years, and we're going to keep finding resources to bring to residents and keep working for ways to reduce the cost. And I just think that we should have a hopeful feeling about it, that while things are having increases, that we're going to be working, that there's a lot of people in New Jersey working to help residents solve this problem, and we're not ignoring it.
Right. And what do you see in the future? The little energy
It
profits.
depends on the day. Some days I feel very like,
Well, what do you see today?
oh, I just imagine a world where, we have homes that have heat pumps that do the heating and cooling for us. And, the use of AI to help us lower our energy bills is a really exciting area.
Yes.
And we're all driving cars that make hardly any noise and, just have a lot of great things going on in them with their electric vehicle status that charge, with smart chargers that can really pick the best time of day to bring electrons off the grid so that we're maximizing, all of the electrons that can be put on the grid at any given time, where we're all using, different types of programs to maximize the amount of electricity that can be moved over the grid and doing the best things with it that we can.
Wow, that's a good future. I look forward to being a part of that and to help making that happen. That is terrific. And you know what? You really are the specialist. You know this business. So.
Well, I was going to say something very the same about you and about Woodbridge. That since almost the inception of the Sustainable Jersey program, you guys have been one of the leaders and one of the municipalities that's really showing, what that future is going to look like and how it's going to come to be.
We really are trying, working hard at it. So thank you, and thank you for watching Greenable Woodbridge and being part of the change and part of the excitement.